You're listening to In Context Podcast. This season is proudly powered by Old School Africa.
Hello, welcome to the serious podcast called In Context, where we're very serious about our lives.
I don't understand. Well, anyway, hi guys.
Quite serious.
Welcome to the podcast.
Hi.
Welcome. What's your name, madam?
Hi everyone, my name is Dolapo Omotosho.
No, it wasn't you.
It wasn't you, madam.
If you insist,
I'm sorry. I thought
Anyway,
it was
guys, we set Dolapo up and told her
I wasn't part of
it was a serious podcast.
There's a
So
lie.
now she feels like she has to put on a 9 to 5 vibe. But sorry, love.
There's a lie
Psych.
amongst us, guys. But anyway, hi guys. My name
Hi.
is Joanna. You can call me Joe. And we want to be the ones to introduce you. So don't be angry that I will skip over
No
you for
wala.
now.
No.
What's that lady's name?
Hi, my name is Oluwatoyin. All of a sudden, you can't remember my name.
No, I
And
don't know
in
your name.
case you thought I forgot, it's Oluwatoyin for short. Thanks and God bless.
Damn it.
Hi, guys.
Anyway, hi guys. Welcome back again to In Context Podcast.
Good.
We're about to have a really, really exciting time because the guest that we have today is very, very special.
You get.
I specifically brought her because apart from work, she knows how to work hard and she knows how to play hard, right? That was one. Number two, I specifically brought her because she's a crackhead.
And we love people like that here. We love people
What do you
like
have to say
that.
for yourself? Defend yourself.
It is well. I just see. I don't know. I was just in a good mood the day she asked. Because literally, I'm podcast.
She was just saying, oh my God, I was just like, okay, I'll just go because of Joanna, because it's you. I'm like,
This should serve as an example for you to avoid funny people. They'll get you to do things that you're not supposed to be doing. Because I was LOLing and I was like, okay, Friday I'll be here. What time? And then she sent the email and I'm like, oh my God.
it's serious.
You see, so I wasn't lying when I said we were serious.
I beg you, liar.
Oh, please.
Anyway.
Jinx.
Personal padlock,
Oh,
please.
please. Joanna.
Today is such a good day. I love
Anyway,
it.
let's get the serious bio out of the way and then we'll start our conversation.
Introduce our special guest.
I need those ad libs, so
Okay. Let me prepare it.
God, I beg.
As the country manager Nigeria at Lemfi, formerly Lemonade Finance, our guest today has led the expansion and growth of the fintech company in one of the largest and most dynamic markets in Africa.
You don't mean it.
Please now.
I activated my brain for that.
Yeah.
Continue.
With a law degree from the Nigeria Law School and the University of Lagos, she has a strong legal background and a passion for financial inclusion and innovation.
I'm sorry. I just want to say that if anybody tries me, I have lawyer.
That's the joke I was about to say after.
You will do jail.
You will do jail.
Because apparently people are very serious with the loyalty now. I mean, I'm just there like,
No.
Really?
If I have, you have somebody now. Why are you doing like this?
even my mommy can't say that.
Okay, continue.
Anyway, having previously worked at notable companies like Piggyverse and Amnesty International, she joined Lemfi as the online community and social media manager, and she rose through the ranks to become a growth launcher in September 2022, working with the team to launch the Ghanaian, Kenyan, and Ugandan corridors in the UK. You guys are killing me.
I'm sorry.
She's so...
I just want to ask,
She's
can
like,
you
who is
people send me this bio so that next
You
time somebody
know.
requests for it, I'll just be like,
It's so
see,
good,
'cause
right?
I don't have like a new bio yet, so I'm just like, I need this.
Yeah.
Anyway, continuing.
So to launch the Ghanaian, Kenyan, and Ugandan
Corridors in the UK, Canada, and US, achieving monthly new senders and volume targets. She has multiple certifications, public.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
Channel your brain.
It's giving all those
Yes.
when you go for conference, they're not tell you to stand up.
Yes.
I'm like,
Can
okay.
you take a bow, guys? Just take it. Just.
But, okay, sorry. Let me maintain composure.
Maintain. She has multiple certification, publication, and honors in the field of law, marketing, and debate. And she currently works as the Revenue Growth Director, TransferGo. With a wow and a loud welcome.
Thanks.
Please
Thanks
welcome
so much.
Dolapo Omotosho.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you so
you're
much
not
for gracing us
shy.
with your
Oh,
presence.
wow.
Hi guys.
But yeah, that was an impressive bio. How do you feel?
Sorry guys, you know I always have fun facts.
What's the fun fact?
But you weren't doing support then now. You were
No, I
doing
wasn't.
marketing proper. I was doing support.
Were you
Yeah.
Hey God.
No, because
Let's not even start. Customer
No, we will start
Customer
into
support
it.
people, God bless you.
Yeah, God bless you, honestly.
See, God bless you. God sees your heart. It's not your fault. It's the engineering guys. It's product guys. We all understand. It's even payment partners. It's not your
everybody,
fault.
it's never you.
It's never your fault.
Never you.
And I'm rooting for you because
I remember one day I was
I can hear
crying
the
to my mom. I
PTSD.
think it was 2021. I was telling my mom that honestly, yeah, if I can never do support again. I mean, times
But
have
I think
changed now.
one
but-
thing I would want to experiment with is have everybody, if I one day get deceived into becoming a founder, have everybody that join my company do 2
Start
weeks.
from support,
Do
yes.
2 weeks in support.
Yes, it's
because
essential.
I feel like right now, no matter what upgrade you give PiggyVest, I still understand it. Like I can still like explain things about the app because I was immersed.
Yes, yeah,
I
the
was immersed in
foundation.
about. Yeah, I met this babe there. I was like,
Not you giving the low-key if I ever become a founder, but
No.
somebody that probably has the idea that she wants to found in her head.
Don't set her up now.
I really don't see. I think right now I've seen a whole lot of like people carry that burden, and I'm not sure it's for me because I'm very, again, like you said, I'm very playful. Number one, number two. What do you mean you will not eat if me I don't make the company work?
Fair. I
Nah.
feel you.
Fair enough.
In
Okay,
a
you know,
way.
let's start from an icebreaker. Although technically there's no ice. in
There's
this
no
one.
ice again,
Yeah.
man.
There's no ice. But the thing is that I just want to demonstrate that I know my guests, so I must use this icebreaker. Okay,
Feel free, go ahead.
So, Dolapo, we know you are a meme connoisseur.
Yeah.
So, what's your current most used meme at the moment?
Oh, there's this Aki's meme that's like this, like, cause every time
What meme is that?
like it's like a Yimo meme, but the Yimo is like Yimo with my brows raised. Cause every time,
Sure.
You're just like-
Where's your phone?
like
Yes.
every time I'm just like, what is happening here, please?
So one of the funniest things that have ever happened was there was one thread that Dolapo did. It was a storytelling thread on Twitter. I think it was about how you went to go and eat at is it
Tapioca.
Bazaar? Was
don't
it
think I saw that.
Bazaar?
I went to eat tapioca. I left my God.
Church
I
now.
left home and country to go and eat tapioca. Nobody asked me to eat.
There are many stories like that, and she always put the memes, put the funny story. Like it's just fun. Like if you don't follow Dolapo, you should. I mean,
Hey, I'm
I
very
don't
not
like to
serious.
be-
Don't come there and come and be looking for career advice.
but for fun.
Go on LinkedIn. Even
Twitter.
LinkedIn itself, I'm not there because I don't have plenty things to happy to announce.
She will now
Oh,
say,
wow.
"Let's start what we came here to do, shall we?"
Like,
Then,
please.
okay. So
While you're waiting for the
Yeah, this one.
Oh,
You see
of
this
course.
meme? You see this meme?
Of course, of
Oh
course,
yeah,
of
yeah,
course,
yeah,
of
yeah.
course.
That's
of
not
course,
acting
of
now. You
course.
said you will have said Popo. That is Popo.
Yeah,
You're not in tune.
yeah.
You're not connected to the grassroots.
So it's the fact that like I
That's
know both
the
of them as
perfect meme,
Aki and
actually.
Popo.
Popo. Okay, fair enough. I love that.
But what
meme.
sound do you currently like? Just a
Sound?
random
A meme.
sound,
A meme that has sound.
that just comes to your mind every time.
It is well in this Nigeria.
Oh,
Real
God, we see us
God will
through.
see us
My
through.
dear
yes,
sis,
yes,
I
yes.
feel you on that particular one.
God will truly see us through because
I went through a phase where my favorite meme was, "I want to tell you that is not my question.
ask
That
God.
question, ask
Ask
God,
God.
but not me."
She has said it on this podcast before, so
'cause
yes.
God will see us through
Yes.
truly because if you are staying in your daddy house or your mommy house
You don't
or
know
your
what the
uncle
Lord
house,
has done
stay
for
there.
you.
Except they force you out, stay there. 10 toes down, don't leave.
Where
You sound like somebody that's gone through job hunting and stuff, house hunting, and yes,
she
you have.
actually has.
Yeah,
Oh my
so
God!
I
But let's not
hear,
even
I
get into
hear
that.
it so much.
Let's not get into that.
Let's not enter it.
Let's get into your legal background.
Interesting. You will do
Right,
jail.
you like to move like you didn't do law and all of that, but you did. You spent the whole years, 5 years, okay, right? But you moved to social media. So now I'm wondering, how did you transition from law, and why did you decide to do that? Like, you moved all the way from doing 5 years now plus law school, 6 years, and you now moved all the way to social media. Why? What happened?
So,
Shola.
fun fact, social media wasn't actually the goal.
Okay.
So I was so when I was in Unilag, at some point I got very disillusioned because I would always like intern every holiday. Like every holiday, I would be at one law firm, and I think that exposure
Made you
valuable
realize.
very valuable if you want to do it. If you are 100% sure, not that they are telling you, oh, you can talk, go and do law. So that experience sort of gave me like an insight to like how lawyers were living outside like school, and then I was like, okay, do you really want to do this thing? And I went to law school. I was like, okay, I convinced myself. I was like, okay, there's no point. Let me go to law school and get like called to bar and see if I'll fall in love with it. So I got into law school 2020 and I deceived because again, I was like a type A law student. I would do the debates, I would do the MUNs, I would do the mock and modes, I would write briefs and like everything.
Not me nodding like I get it.
So I was like I was very internship focused. So I was like, okay, I'll go to law school and become a judge after 5 years. Literally, that's my plan. I was like, I would become a judge. And then pandemic happened. And my life shall changed to that pandemic. And I was like, I saw someone working in tech and I was like, I think I can do this, but I don't want to do legal. I didn't want to touch law at all. I didn't want to do legal. I didn't want to do compliance. I didn't want to do policy. I didn't want to do data. And I was still in like the figuring it out process. But at some point in uni, to get extra cash, I didn't want to usher. So people used to do this ushering thing that they would go every weekend. So my sister was very against it. So I started working with event planners as coordinators. So coordinator is like one step above from ushers. You get to do more, get to learn more, and then you get paid better. So I was coordinating for event planners, and then one person noticed that I had like the eye for content. Like she would give me her phone and I would like literally create videos and Insta stories and people would follow, and she's like, I think you should do this. So she told all her friends, and then I had like 5 event planners I was doing social media content for. And then my friend was like actual social media manager. So she was always giving me like tips and tricks, but it wasn't like the plan. So I did, and then outside law school, I was done with law school, but I was still waiting for my exam results. So I didn't know if I had passed or not. So people were applying to law firms. Me, I was in the house looking. Hey, I say, God, what's going to happen to me? Like, I wanted to work in tech. So I applied and applied and applied and applied. Everybody just give me rejection. Like, I feel like when you study law and you get rejected, like
it hits different.
It is different because like at first you're like top of the earth, cream and crop, white and black. You can speak Oyinbo. You can, you can package yourself very well. And then someone's telling you, oh, we really liked your application, not a right fit. So I basically told my friends, like, all these people are turning me down. One particular one, I think there was one particular one that like shook me to my core because I'd done like 3 stages of interview. Everything was going well. I reworked my CVs. My friend reworked my CV for me to make it sound not lolo-ish. And then they ghosted. Next thing, I was stalking their social media. I said, these people. It was for like a business development role. Next thing I saw welcoming new hires. Hey, I was not there. I said,
And they didn't give you feedback.
They didn't give me feedback till today. Ghosted me.
HRs fix up.
So I now saw a tweet from Odun Eweniyi. Odun was like,
that's interesting because that's literally how I got my job.
Odun was like, customer support is a great place to start if you're looking to get into tech. Bear in mind, I'm not the most patient person. I'm not the most compassionate. I don't think I was. I was always the person dragging. If you try me as a vendor, I will come on Twitter and say, as a person, where's my this? Where's my this? This service is not great. So I was like, at this point, when you're desperate, you're like, okay, let's do it. So PiggyVest, I think a month after or 2 weeks after, they put out like an opening, social media, customer support, intern. I hustled my way into the application. I applied. I got the first like assessment. I did it. It was good. And I didn't do it. I did it, but like I didn't do it alone. I asked like people. I was like, oh, what are you looking for if you're hiring for this role? So everybody puts the
It was a team effort.
It was a team. It took a village. And then I got to like the final interview, and it was with my manager and one other person that is now like on the people team at PiggyVest. And the question was it wasn't even a can you do this job, because it was an internship. It was you have a law degree, you're expecting your law school results. don't you think you're overqualified for an internship? Hey, I say no.
This one that I reach here.
I begged.
People want to take
I was
me
in that
away.
interview. I was like, pick me, choose me, love me. I say I am me. Don't worry. Take a risk on me and succeed.
Try me, take risk and succeed.
And then
That's one of my
I was
favorite
waiting.
memes.
I was waiting for them
you
to get
waited
back.
for a while?
I waited for a while, though. I was waiting for them to get back to me. I went on LinkedIn. I called everybody. And I think one thing I've been blessed with is amazing friend and a good network. Like, for instance, that one that they ghosted me, I literally told like somebody I was freelancing for that, you're not going to believe that this company, and it's a big tech company, or it used to be a big tech company, this company ghosted me. And I thought that he would be like, oh, you're working for me and you're applying. And he literally called their CEO. And he's like, oh, what's up? This babe applied. What's going on? And that was like, oh, she was like the fourth best. And that's where I got closure from. And then at PiggyVest, I was just like, I will find my way to... And Peace can testify. Peace Obinani, God bless you. There's nobody that did not approach Peace. Like, manager, staff, friend of the brand. Everybody in my network had somebody putting in a word for me, like, oh, this person interviewed. And I think on the first day, like we had like our team orientation, she literally looked at me and said, you sent the whole world to me. And I think she sort of took like an interest in me.
Yeah.
And Peace used to run like social media. So the support team was like an add-on. And I think she also noticed that I could create, everything could be falling apart and I would look for a way to create content. And she's like, oh, come and work on like the content calendar at PiggyVest with me. And I wrote like a copy for something that we put out and they posted it and it made my day. Because people were interacting with it, people were kicking, and I was just like,
yeah, I'm funny.
I'm funny, but like PiggyVest people are reading my stuff and they're liking it. And then I started working on content. I started doing event production with Peace for Abeg. I started doing, and she started teaching me like some things about like proper social media marketing. And bear in mind, I was doing NYSC that year too. So the goal was at the end of my service year, which was July, I would join the team full-time or like become like a proper content marketer. But I didn't think I could wait till July because customer support, again, I was still doing that too on the team. And it was taking a whole lot from me emotionally than I could give. And then I saw Lemonade Finance is hiring social media manager and I put my head there. And again, my friends came together. Literally, I think one running joke at Lemfi is the first day the team met me, which was a very small team then. They were like, immediately they got off the call, they're like, we're going to hire this babe. And the reason was, again, I went there with ring lights. So they thought they had seen a TikToker. I went with my ring lights was set up. The background was giving everything. I was even throwing in some words like brand turn, brand image. They're like, I always this one. I was like, I'm a PiggyVest. Like, so they got off the call and they're like, we've seen TikToker. I promise you, I spent like 6 months before I went to go and buy my own ring lights because I returned the ring light to the person I collected it from. So today they're like,
I love it. I rate it like mad.
What scammed us with ring light? I did, because before I did TikTok video, they begged. I said, oh no, that's not what I came here for.
Wow.
Okay.
So they wanted to harness your TikTok.
So they saw ring light, so they said, content queen. I said, no, that's not what I came here for. I came here to be tweeting and kiki. So I pushed back on like video content, but that's like how I got into like social media. And I was enjoying social media, don't get me wrong. It was really nice. I like when people interact, even till today. I get, and everybody I've worked with will tell you, like, I get to do well in instances you allow me be creative. And social media really allowed me like grow that. So that's the long and short of the story of how I
well, you don't sound like you regretted it, but I want to ask, like the move from law to
Rara, no. So I think I don't, and no knowledge is a waste. Number one.
Builds.
2, it's great to have a degree. Like, it's great to have a degree and know that like one day, although I know that it won't happen again at this point, but it's great to know that okay, I have this, and it's better than like not having it. And one day I will need this and I will have to go back to school for that. 1, 2, I feel like sometimes I forget myself. And let me tell you, I've written influencer content. I've written influencer contracts in this life. I've written influencer contract. So at Lemfi, again, bear in mind, we were a very small team. So sometimes we were outsourcing our legal before we had like a legal person. So sometimes we would wait, and the turnaround time, when you're working in a startup that like timing is everything, turnaround time would be. So sometimes I would literally do the first draft of influencer contract, ambassador contract, partnership contract. I'll sit down, I'll write my thing. And then they will send it to like the external legal person. And sometimes it used to also like thrill me because she would like correct very, very small things like, oh, they capitalize this, punctuate this. And I'm like, wow.
I still know this thing.
I still know this thing. So again, those things, they come through. Sometimes you can go back and forth with like someone and the person say, oh, and this thing happened a whole lot, like at my last job. Person will be, I want this included. And I'll be like, oh, let's send it to legal. They'll be like, girl, write it. They'll be like, well, please write it. And sometimes if we're pressed for time, I'll literally like just pull through. I think me and the legal team, we had a great time because they're like, have you shown Dolapo? What did she say? And then they sometimes, and I learned from them. So it's not a waste at the end of the day.
Definitely. You've talked about
Nice.
just, I mean, you wrote an article about your journey rising through the ranks, really. And I know that, that article is out there. If you've not read it, you should definitely read it. It's an easy read. I like that actually about it. It's an easy read, but also very, like, you can kind of see what the journey was like. But for the people who have not had the opportunity to read it, just a quick, you don't have to give all the details, but just like talk about what the factors were that kind of contributed to you, like moving from that to growth launching to like literally getting the title country manager Nigeria.
I think one thing I didn't put in that article is
exclusive.
No. I think one thing I didn't put out, like the main message is always advocate for yourself. Like I think at every point that I have grown, like in terms of role responsibility, it was as a result of advocating for myself. So I'm sure she'll tell you, like when we were at Piggyverse together, if something wasn't going right or I wasn't okay, I would literally let everybody know, like, say, hi guys, I think this should be done this way. I think leadership appreciates that. So I took what like the culture at Piggyverse had instilled in me, and then I took it to Lemfi, and I was advocating for myself constantly. Like if something wasn't, and then I think it got like the attention of like management, like, okay, who's this person? And like with my drive at work, because again, I feel like if you're like me and you have left everything, you have staked all your odds on like branching out, you know that you have to work. You know you have to, even if like it doesn't pan out. You know that when you look at it, you're like, I gave it 100%. So I'm very pro work, like very, very, and I love that I've worked at places where they value that. Deadline, come and meet me. I will help you. Even if we don't do it at the deadline, I will show you that like I did 80%, I did 70%, and no other person can surpass that. So I have like that drive. So I joined as social media manager. That's the same one. They decided that they wanted to start writing blog posts. They wanted to open a blog. It was not
part of the JD.
It was not part of like the JD. Like social media managers don't do content writing. It's not in the package. But I started writing. I wrote the first one. I was like, me, that I already had Medium page. I was contributing for Bella Ninja and all that. What do you mean that you don't like my writing? And then I would go back, write, redraft. At some point, they're like, oh, we have a newsletter people read. Start writing that. I started writing that. At some point, they're like, oh, it's a Saturday. I'm away from my laptop. Send push notification. I'll send the push notification. And when you start doing, when everybody's like, oh, what's going? And people start talking. People start noticing. So bear in mind, when I joined Lemfi had like 3,000 followers on Twitter and 2,000 on Instagram.
Oh my God, I remember when you posted about how you grew it. Yeah.
So 3,000 on Twitter, 2,000 something on Instagram or so. And literally, it was obvious that they wanted me to focus on like very important things than growing numbers. But I was like, 10 months down the line, you will say, this babe that we're paying, because again, I'd asked for more money at the interview. So that was the reason why I even met Readone in the first place. That's my former CEO. So, because he was like, who is this person that you people think is the best thing after sliced bread that you want to go above the budget for? So
did they give you the more?
So I had asked for a particular amount. So they gave me like 50k naira less. And then they're like, at the end of your probation, that's at the end of 3 months, we'll up it to that amount. So we'll add the 50K. So I was like, let's go. By the way, this money that I was asked for 3 times where I was coming from, but I was like, let's ask for more. And then
I love that.
I was like, they will say this person that came and brought ring lights and was doing audio Oyinbo, speaking audio, brand tone, concise messaging, automations and all that. You know how to automate too, by the way. What has this
Again,
person
we said
done?
it before, you turn up your charm in interview.
Please, you have to sell yourself. Like, you will learn. You will learn. And then I was like, okay, let me build this thing. Nobody asked me. So let me build this thing. Let's see if I can do maybe 5K on Instagram, 10K on Twitter. Let's see, let's grow. That's how. That's how. My target was I would do 10K by December. Now, I was already overdoing. At the end of my 3 months, people were already like texting, like, oh, who's doing your social? This is really nice. This is really funny. And then probation ended. They added 100K. I say, hey, God, I say, God, and one fun fact, I've never had to, shout out to my former workplace. I love you guys. I've never had to ask for a raise. Like, they will raise your money. So they added 100K. I say, I must do.
Overdo 10K care. I'm moving up.
I hit 10,000 by September. And I don't know, that thing just unlocked a lot of things for me because they're like, do you want to, literally they dragged me on a call. Like I always, another thing you should learn to do is especially if you work remote, carry the rest of your team along. Like carry the bigger company along. Don't work in like an isolated silo. Let everybody know that this is what Dolapo is doing. This is what Dolapo will do come Q2. So I would sit down and write a social media report as to like, oh, this is what we did, this is what we did, this is what did not work well. This is what, and I will put it on general Slack. I say, oh, hi guys. This is what I have done. And it was my former manager that actually started that. I fought it at first because I was like, well,
I fought that a couple of times too. But
and then at some point when we started with the blog, the time we reached like a milestone, we went there again. We ate this views on the blog. Very wonderful. And everybody like, oh my God. So everybody's like, oh, this person is doing. So at that point, we were only functional in Nigeria. We had like, we were sending to other countries, but Nigeria was like core focus. So it was beginning of a middle point in August, and they pull me to a random Google Meet, literally. Or it was even on WhatsApp, they sent join. If I join now.
And
then I joined and I was like, oh, we're looking to launch in Ghana. We want to do focused marketing. We want to see how it goes and all that. And at that moment, fun fact, I'd gotten my passport in June and I spent money on that passport. And I said, God, this passport, I'm going to use to travel. So at that moment, I'm like, it would be really nice. I was like, it would be really nice. I mean, it would be really nice to go to Ghana and see what people vibe with. CEO looks at me
you're
and
the one
like,
that put yourself on
yeah,
the
so
spot.
CEO said, do you want to go to Ghana? I said, I'm not saying I want to go to Ghana, but it would be nice. And he's like, do you want to go to, it's like, do you want to go to Ghana?
No?
Yes or no? And I'm like, I want to go to Ghana. And that's how like growth launching started.
Wow.
So I think Ghana was very
interesting.
Ghana was very important for me because that was the first time in my life something I'd ever worked on, touched, went viral. Like viral. And I'm like, this is another venue. Everybody was talking about things we put out. Everybody's like, what, these guys, diaspora people were like, and it wasn't just like viral. I could see the impact on the business.
Yeah.
Bro,
That's important.
Literally, they said, good, you have done the playbook.
Good.
This
so now
is
let's go and replicate.
Literally, like, so I was in Ghana I thought I was going to go to Ghana, do aquabars, quick, come back. I was in Ghana from I think September till January the following year. But I was coming back. I would do like 2 months, 3 months. I'll come back to Lagos, spend like 1 week, 2 weeks with people, go back again. And I was like, okay, we wrapped up like the Ghana campaign. We put in structures. We knew we were going to hire to like continue and all that. We basically rolled back our spend. We're like, okay, we don't need this. Let's keep these people. Let's keep it pushing.
Yeah.
And then I think I got back to Nigeria in January. And then we had office retreats in February. So January, I was, catching up, doing meetings. I'll wake up, do meetings with people in Ghana, shout at what you need to shout at, strong face for what you need to strong face, laugh with who. I think that's like marketing. Managing people literally is marketing. So know who to be soft with, who to be firm with. And then they come back at like office retreats, and we're in Lakwe having a great time and all that. And they're like, oh, by the way, hope you know you're going to Kenya next week.
Say hope you know.
Hope you,
How will I know?
And at that point,
Just like that.
I see, at that point, I'd already become so faced to like living out of a suitcase. It was so normal to me. I was so excited. I just texted my friends, off to Nairobi. Yeah.
Really?
Literally. And then I landed in Nairobi like a week after.
That's nice.
I did Kenya for like 4 months. And bear in mind, I was still doing social media at Lemfi with growth launching, because at that point, they told me, hire somebody in Ghana to be a social media manager. So it will complement like your strengths. Hire somebody with a different perspective from you, social background and all that. Did I sit down to hire? No. I'm like,
you decided by yourself that
fun
won't
fact,
hire.
I was country manager of Lemfi. I was still logged into the social media account, because I'd grown it to bear in mind, I hit 10K by
That's
November.
September. Okay.
By November-ish, we hit 10K on all social media.
Okay.
By February, we were 40K.
That's a
Like
leap.
we were 40K in on Twitter, and then Instagram
Growing
would
on
change
Twitter is so hard.
not for me, please.
I love it.
I see what you did there.
I hear that.
You know what? You deserve this accolade.
I love that.
So it was 43K when I brought in the second social media manager. I told her, girl, before you came during retreats, the February retreats, they said, so you're going to do 100K. And then I called my circle of friends, and I'm like, they're saying I should do 100K on social media and online community. And the first question was, do you know the size of what's this
100?
Manchester United Stadium? That's what the person says. Like, do you know what's the name of the? Yeah, it's like, do you know the size of O2? See, that's what they ask you to go and pack for them. I say, I don't know, I'm going to. They say, don't worry, we'll figure it out. And shout out to my friends, I love you guys. Because they've never said you can't do it. It's impossible to tell them. They say, we'll figure it out. And then I've grown Instagram to 20K. So we were already like on the 60K band community set on social media. LinkedIn was just growing on its own. And then I was like, okay, I was still doing social media. And then I went to Nairobi. I did Nairobi for about 4 months. And I would always go with like someone on the team. So it was myself and one other person will go, move. And they're like, yeah, this is not working anymore. Because
Nairobi
why? No,
is
not
what?
Nairobi. Like, why are we doing 2 people when we can just separate 2 people and do 2 at the same time?
Interesting.
So they shipped me off. They first told me
Only you, a big girl now.
See, so they first told me you're going to do, and that was like one of the most intense 2 weeks. So I did like 5 countries in 2 weeks.
Oh
Like,
my God.
girl, it was intense.
Burnout.
And luggage. I never even bother packing big bags. So I would literally, like, I was doing airport to airport to airport to airport. Also, another thing that people don't tell you is when you
She's
have
about to say something like, you have this thing where you're about to.
when you have a law degree, immigration people are very nice to you.
Oh my God. I love the flex. Just be flexing.
I'm feeling more far because like my other colleague.
They don't want you to sue them.
Look, my other colleague would be like, oh, what are you here for? They'll ask him questions. Me, I'll just breeze through. What are you? Lawyer. Oh, yeah, research.
That's what you're always
Literally,
saying.
I'm like, research. And
So wait, sorry. You introduce yourself as a lawyer to
no,
them.
so when you do your passport thing, they'll ask you for your
Occupation,
occupation.
yeah,
So when
yeah,
they run like
fair,
your
fair.
biodata page, they'll see like,
They can see
I
a
never.
lawyer.
Like
Okay.
this one fact,
So I
they'll give
just
them-
want to say that this is how the people of the press used to be revered in this country before things turned around. But
Yemo.
Moving on swiftly.
back then, if you had press sticker
Yeah,
on your car,
yeah.
they will not mess with you because nobody wants to be outed. You know,
It was like at first I noticed it in Ghana. So Ghana
Interesting.
immigration, they'll give you like days to stay. Me, first time, brand new passport, give me 2 months. My colleague gave me 2 weeks. I was like, oh, that's weird. I was like, oh, maybe because I was smiling with them, because I would play with everybody. If you went to Unilag, you know that like there are places you have to like raise people up.
Yeah.
So I'll play with everybody and then stamp 2 months, 2 months, 2 months. Nairobi. What are you coming to Nairobi to do? Oh, just have fun. bah, 2 months. My guy, bah, 2 weeks. It's like this is not fair.
It's not the regular.
So they're like, why are we having like 2 of you when 2 of you can do this thing? So they separated. So they took me. So that 1 week I did like Tanzania, Rwanda. I did like a lot of countries, and then I came back to Lagos. I now packed properly because they're like, you're going to be in Uganda
for a while.
Forget. They're like, I was like, oh my God, my house, everything. They said, put your stuff in a warehouse if you can. Literally, I didn't have a house in Lagos, so
that's when you know it's serious.
Like, put your stuff. You're going to Uganda. You have to figure it out. So I went to Uganda month 1, month 2, month 3, month 4. I was like, God.
Am I really here?
Literally, and it wasn't so easy as like, even like Kenya wasn't like so easy for the team. But again, we just kept on. We kept at it. I was still doing growth marketing. I was still doing social media. I was still doing social media. I was still doing growth marketing.
So
I was meeting people.
Were you the only person
for social media?
Yeah, at this time.
Fun fact: it was the month we changed to Lemfi that I got a second social media manager.
That's pretty recent. That's not a long time ago.
See, that rebrand.
Oh my God, I remember that.
That rebrand pushed me because, again, when you work in a startup, work-life balance the line begins to get thinner. That rebrand. So when I joined a year back, as at then, they already said, oh, we're going to rebrand. And I was very sad because Finance is a very cool name.
Yeah.
So we're going to rebrand. So I already had a year to come across the idea. Did we plan towards it? Not really. And then 2 weeks to the rebrand.
Then everything is happening.
They put up a Google Meet and there's like everybody on the call talking about like our new name, what we're going to do. And next thing I'm hearing is, so Dolapo, coordinate everybody. I'm like, huh?
Coordinate.
I swear. So I was chasing engineers. I was chasing
creative department,
customer support. I was chasing everybody to ensure that like we were implementing change in 2 weeks. We're like, okay, have you changed this? Have you changed this? Have you filed this? So I had like I had what I would term the almighty spreadsheet of rebrand. Brand story. Sit down and write it. We're like, okay, this is our brand story. This is what we are. This is what we're. So my second social media manager joined. Bear in mind, like when I say everything, I'm saying media buying. I literally
had to search for the.
I am one phone call away from any blogger, newspaper in 3 countries, and it's great that I get to say things like that. But like it's great. So we were doing press runs. We rebranded in 2 weeks, and after that, they're like, "Okay, come back to Lagos." And it wasn't like a very nice comeback to Lagos.
So you were coordinating from
Uganda.
Yes,
Uganda.
And I was 2 hours ahead of Lagos time. People, when you work on a remote team, you're like in all time zones. You have to be like off if you're needed. And then I came back to Lagos very sad because I felt like Uganda didn't pop off the way like Kenya was beginning to pop up, and Ghana was beginning to pop up. I cried. I cried so much. The lady at the airport thought I came to bury somebody and upgraded my ticket. So she upgraded my ticket. She moved me from economy to premium economy and checked in a whole bag for free. God bless you, ma.
Yes.
But it was really your tears.
My face was swollen. Like I cried so much because I feel like when you're young, you get to go through like all the emotions at once, and you get to start feeling. Because again, my friends are like eye achieving people, but like literally eye achieving people, but like at the same time, they are not. Like I feel like the intensity in which life comes at me so half of the time they're like, this makes no sense, and I'm like, I know, right? And like it's not like I'm just doing work. If you take me to
you party,
take me to any city in this Africa, just give me a time slot. I'll tell you. So we're starting at so place. We're ending here,
guys. Always yes. Like I don't know.
You're the planner.
You know how you have echolocation, right? Like in some animals. See, Dolapo and Peace. The 2 of them know how to find where it's happening.
The first Christmas party that we had at Piggyvest, I was at Piggyvest.
Oh my God, yes!
I was on the stage with Toba.
She climbed the stage. She was dancing with Toba. Odu kept saying, I love that girl.
I love her. I wore corset and skirt and Crocs. I said this night we mean business. So that's like how like so
I'm just here like oh my god, like so someone was talking to the person was asking Odun, like who is that girl? Who is that girl that is on stage? Is she a staff or is she like working with your planner? They said no, she's a staff. They say staff. Odun said I love her so much.
like I can't on stage because I was just like so again I like to have a good time. I'm like okay, you can't
When
stress
it's time
me.
to have a good
You
time,
can't
let's
stress
have
me.
it.
You can't stress me like Monday to Friday and then take me out and I'll now sit down. No, now. Like, so again, there was also that I had to like balance my social life. I had to ensure that like I kept in touch with friends in different countries. My friends decided to also, in the space of me doing all this Ajala travel, decided to do global talent and move. So it was like, at that point, I wasn't struggling so much because my idea of home had changed. So I was like, okay,
His
the
brother
two
now,
people that will
yeah.
run to move to the UK, people were moving. Like again, my life was fast, but theirs too was also like quickly progressing. They had stuff at work. They were making announcements. They were changing jobs. They were growing, and I was like, this is very overwhelming.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, man, I was
It's
just
good
24
stuff,
years old.
but yet it's
Yeah,
overwhelming.
yeah.
That happens.
Like
You
I
were
was just 24.
Oh, okay.
Like I joined Lemfi I joined Lemfi 2 years. I was 23 when I joined. I was 24 when all this was happening, and I'm just like, I'll go on TikTok and see 24-year-olds do what 24-year-olds are supposed to do. And I was like, why am I looking at spreadsheets? I said, I feel like it was very fast paced. It's still very fast paced, but then I've come to accept that's my journey.
That's your own journey.
So
That's been quite
Oh my god! Like I really did enjoy how she just like took us on the like I
Literal
could picture it and
journey.
stuff. Okay. Thank you for that.
Okay.
Okay, what's
Oh yeah. Feel free. I wanted to ask about, because you've mentioned that you've been to so many places, right? The culture and like just the different places you've been to. How have they changed and shaped you? Like, what's your view on things now, just because of the cultures that you've interfaced and stuff like that?
so I think
Especially in terms of work too, as well. You personally, but also in terms of how you see work.
I think one thing I'm also very grateful for is my upbringing and going to like a public uni and also like putting yourself out there. You constantly like experience people. And I feel law school, if anybody has ever gone to law school is like your first melting point because you have people from the north, people from all parts, people
and you get deployed
and
pretty
then
much
you get
like
international students too, and you're like, this thing is giving salad, though. And you're like, what's going on?
There's a thing you do with your eyes that is just killing
Wait, you're about to get oh my god.
Like it was giving salad. Like I think for the first time I went through like somebody mansplained. Somebody literally mansplained something to me that I was. So I used to do BP debates and I had like a very good run at it. And I think my first time ever, I went to do the Shalaye. I did the BP debate. They literally taught me the rules of BP debate. I'd not gone for any training. I'd not gone for anything. They're like, okay, these are the rules. This is how you do it. This is how you do it. Go. And I did it. I represented Unilag. It was like an inter-university debate. And then we won. And me, I was doubting myself. I was like, oh my God, I even told my partner, I'm so sorry. And then the judge walked up to us and was like, oh, you won because this person did this. And I was like, oh, so we won because of me. And then somebody walked up to me and someone was like, oh, do you know who you just like went against? I'm like, no. And apparently it was like the university champion, the babe. And babe is so smart. She's doing great things today. I still like look at her on like Twitter. And I soon became like very popular. They're like, oh, this is the person that beats this person. I say, it's beginner luck. And then somebody mansplained BP debates to me in law school for the first time in my life.
Are you serious?
Like,
Something you had already.
Yeah, so the person was like, oh, I do BP. This is what BP is. And the person was like talking to me like, this thing was out of the world. And I kept quiet and I was looking at the person. And when like the guy moved, somebody in my school was like, why didn't you say like you? And I was like, there was no point. So that sort of like got me ready in a way. So in terms of culture, I think I had like a very soft landing because Ghana is not so far off Nigeria. Yeah. We tend to forget that there are countries in between us.
Yeah.
So
yeah, actually.
It's because of the language. Like they are literally the next English.
Yeah, they are literally next to English.
like
Ghanaian pidgin.
Yeah.
And there was like the influence of like Ghana Nollywood movies and all that. So you're like, okay, I get Ghana people and all that. And I used to work at eDrink Lagos. I had like a very brief stint as social media editor at eDrink Lagos for like, I think 7 months. So when they shipped me off to Ghana, funny enough, I was still at eDrink Lagos, like
interesting.
freelancing for them, doing their social media stuff.
From Ghana?
No, like before I went off. So when I went off, we can't be doing a drink Lagos and be in Ghana now.
I wanted to say,
you don't work
what
that way.
powers do you have, babe?
So my first approach was food. I already had a list. I've had shito since I was a child. Say Shabi cook, and I was like, I must taste this thing. So I had like a list, and then I see the people, and they look like me. They don't sound like me. They don't behave like me. Like if they're in traffic, they'll stay on the queue. Me.
It's such a sub. That's such a sub.
See, that thing still.
That's such a sub, man.
I be telling my colleague, and my colleague used to drive us around. I be like, but this lane is free now. She's like, oh no, you don't do that. Like it was normal to them. It was a bit cleaner. They were using the same spices I was using, like Rodo and all that. So I was the food. And then I think the first time I was like, you're not in Nigeria anymore, was when I saw a very big billboard and it was burial.
Oh yeah. So funerals are a big thing in Ghana. Very big thing.
They are bigger than weddings.
And they call it funeral.
Yeah. I just remember those Ghanaian pole guys.
They say every Saturday there's a funeral happening.
So at this point, this thing that she does, I was in Ghana for so long, I don't hear it anymore.
Oh, are you serious?
So my Ghanaian
it's not
colleague,
regular.
do you get my Ghanaian colleague was saying something, and I was like, and then somebody picked up on it, and I was like, oh, I didn't hear it.
Yeah.
So she says,
already
church, and I'm like, church, yeah.
Oh.
She says church, and then one day I was like, oh, I want to eat burger, and she's like, what's that? And I'm like, burger.
She said beggar.
Burger. Like burger. And so I didn't pick up on
Yeah.
it. And then to her, it was us that sounded weird.
Yeah.
So she's like, I would get off the call with you people and laugh. And I'm like,
That's crazy.
Because we're laughing about you like mad, bro.
So I was like, why is there a billboard saying pass something goes home? And she's like, oh no, they are the biggest celebrations. Like if you're getting married, congratulations to you. But literally a flight.
Like that one is literal celebration of life for them.
Do you understand?
You have to practice how to cry. If you're like mourning, you have to practice. You have to, there's like the whole people come, drop money, they will announce. Like I immersed myself in Ghanaian culture to a great extent. I went for a wedding. I watched videos on funeral. I couldn't go for a funeral because apparently the lit ones don't even happen in Accra. You have to travel to Kumasi. So I was open to the food. I was open to and then that sort of changed something as to like how I viewed marketing to them. I would see the kind of content that would get them excited. Comedy is very big in Ghana.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
I was like, okay, this is great. And then I think Kenya shocked me because if not that they told me that this place is a serious place, I'd have showed up in cropped up and jeans trousers or sweatpants. So I flew from Lagos with maybe one sweater, the cold that slapped my face.
Oh yeah.
You won't believe yourself.
It's quite cool.
The cold that slapped my face. I was like, maybe it's AC in the airport. I said, maybe it's AC in the airport. And then I move out and breeze is blowing me. I said, why did nobody tell me?
You didn't inform me, I didn't
Nobody
know
told
that.
me.
You were not informed too.
The weather, the people. And in all these places, I'm equally making friends. I'm creating a social life for myself. I'm like, I need somebody that'll take me out. Because if you don't take me out, I'll spend the whole weekend working. So the people, how they approach hospitality, how firm they can be about certain things. And I'm just like, this is very different. Like, again, I'm seeing people that and for the first time, it was very obvious that I was not Kenyan. Because I didn't look like all of them for the first time. I looked very different.
In Ghana, it wasn't so obvious.
It wasn't so obvious. I could pass very well. But in Kenya,
you can pass.
like in Kenya,
But once you open your mouth, they go, no, but
in Kenya, I was even shorter than like the average like Kenyan babe. So they're like, what's this person? And I would pronounce my name. My name was always the icebreaker. No need for icebreaker. I'll pronounce my name. I'll teach them how to pronounce my name. The food. The food was, I think for the first time, when you're eating shito, you're eating rodo, you're eating crayfish, you're eating corn and stuff. The food in Kenya it looks like what you're used to, but they have like a very low spice tolerance.
Yeah, in
So-
East Africa generally.
So
I
they
have
won't
to-
like Yoruba men. Okay.
They do.
Oh, they do?
They do.
They are contradicting themselves, but if
I
they
also
say
found
so.
out that Nigerian people are popular. Where the price. You see that audacity that we show on Twitter is actually backed offline because apparently we're known to be like very fun people, very
Liberal.
spenders, you know. So
Oh my God, even in Rwanda, once it's a Nigerian.
yeah, they enjoy Rwanda.
No, but I'm saying like if they know that it's a Nigerian in the group, they want to tell you the nearest place to go because they feel like you
Cover for
Yeah,
everyone.
like it's just you make sure everybody has a good time.
I said I got to Kenya by 6 a.m. in the morning. It was a morning flight. I got to Kenya 6 a.m. I settled into my hotel. That night I was out.
God.
That night I was out. Someone was like, "We're going to." I said, "Take me to."
I'll be there.
And literally, Kenyans don't play around 9 to 5. See Ghanaians will party when it's time to party. See Kenyans, you see that thing you call 9 to 5, they're out. And for the first time, I
They are
didn't
out during.
like 5 p.m.
Oh, okay.
They have
Yeah. They've
your
left the
work.
office. Yeah.
So when we have staffs from there, I tend to understand that I can't put the expectation that they will be available. If I'm not telling them that they will be available 24/7, don't stress them. And you're going to the club, nobody's looking at what you're wearing. So for the first time, I could enter with sweatpants and slippers. People were entering with office blazers and ties.
Okay, straight from the office.
Straight
Like
from the
we are
office, they were having
outside.
like proper
I love
life,
it.
proper social. Like it wasn't pretentious.
Yeah,
We ordered NSC. They brought Dorime lights. I was like, I'm going to. In my head, I'm
I'm
like,
the queen here.
I'm never living here. In my head, I'm like, I'm never living here. You people are going to have to force me out of your country. Because I'm like, and then I was also interacting with the tech, how they move money. So in Ghana, there is the Momo wallet. So you send or you pay cash. Cash is still like cool.
Yeah.
In Kenya, the first time I saw cash, it was because I went somewhere that needed cash. So
This was after how many months?
this is after like 3 months. And I saw like
Their
notes
actual money.
for the first time. And I was like,
Interesting.
What it looks like.
M-Pesa, like, M-Pesa showed me like payments can be so seamless.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
people will adapt
Yes.
to it because
Yes.
they understand it. They get it. Like what you're trying to build, wherever you're trying to build it, is so it might be revolutionary in that space, but it can work. And I was telling somebody like, I think M-Pesa is like, so far I've experienced M-Pesa is a great product and all that. And someone was like, I need to go to Senegal and experience Wave. And that's on my wish list. Like I feel like if I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, which I don't think that's going to change, I think I need to experience Wave because it also had like good reviews as to like how it works. You mean you can just scan a barcode and make payments. So you're experiencing all that, you're tying it into your work, you're tying it into how you talk to people, you're tying it into the push notification. Like one thing I try to do, the moment I spend 24 hours in a country, I change how we send push notifications. I try to rework the whole system. I try to put your language, I try to put your slang, I try to make it sound like, I try to see if
Like it's your friend that's talking to you.
I try to see if it'll get like more attention.
Yeah.
So there's that. So Kenya was great. Now Uganda was different. Uganda, I was alone.
Oh, this was the first time they had separated you from that friend.
Alone, number one. Number two, most of my friends didn't have friends in Uganda.
Right. Okay.
So I sat down. First week, I stayed in my house. I was like, okay. And I would stare outside my balcony and in my head, I'll be like, this looks like Abeokuta. Literally, Uganda was giving Abeokuta a lot. And I was like, this looks like Abeokuta. You're driving
The hills
Okadas
and
everywhere. There's safe border Okada everywhere.
Oh,
like,
for the
do you get? Like, so, and I was like, at first, I said, I'll not drive. I'm not enter safe border. I said, I'm not going to enter safe border. I'm in a different country. What if I fall off a bike? God forbid. I bought helmet too. 2 months down the line, I had my own helmet, like I would carry around with me. I adapted. So first week, I'm in my house, seated, not experiencing the culture. Only source of interacting with people outside my spaces. My TikTok algorithm changed. My Glovo options. Shout out to Glovo.
Yeah.
Glovo, see, I like that Glovo is getting awesome in Nigeria, but Glovo is awesome. I promise you, Glovo is awesome everywhere else. The first time I ordered Glovo in Kenya, they brought it to the front of my door and I was on the 6th floor. It shook me.
That's so cool.
It shook me. It was surprising.
Yeah, it's actually
Nigeria, when you-
no, but also like even myself, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not letting you come to my door.
So I went on Eventbrite. Like second week, I went on Eventbrite and I started like registering for tickets for everything I saw. And I'll go for like tech events and I started making friends.
See, you're already answering some of the questions I had.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
But
let's
like
stick
these
to your
are challenges. No,
questions.
continue.
No,
continue.
Eventbrite, you already told us that you by yourself go and look for your research and
No,
figure
so I
out
went
how
on
to meet new
Eventbrite.
people.
I went on Eventbrite and I went to the first event and I was talking to people that had gone to come in from Kenya. Will be like, oh my God, did you go to this spot? Did you do this? And then I made one friend and it was like, okay, we've made one friend. We've made one person that we can call on. And then I went again on Eventbrite. I looked for another tech event. Don't know why it was even tech event. I was looking for party. So I looked for another tech event and I was like, okay, I'll go. So I go for the second event. They noticed that I'm not like Ugandan right off the bat. But then also at this point, I'm already getting to the realization that we need more women in tech because it was a room filled with like men pitching their own solution. And I got very, and I can be very shy, fun fact. I can be very shy until I'm comfortable in like a new setting.
Yeah,
so I pull back and I go to the back and then I see this babe and she's literally working on a deck and I'm asking her, oh, what are you building for? And till today, that's still my paddy. Like, so she became like my first friend. And she's like, oh, I know more Nigerians. So she introduced me to, I think I have 3 friends in Uganda today. So but one has moved to Germany. So she introduced me to like her Nigerian guys and she's like, oh, they'll help you figure out Nigerian food in Uganda. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's great. But I don't know, we started talking and since then,
Just your guy.
the relationship just bloomed, I guess. And
cute.
like, that's how I make friends.
Do you want to start, advance, or switch to a career in tech?
You can learn the skills you need to become successful when you apply into the Alt School Africa program.
Old School Africa has a variety of code and no-code programs like front-end engineering, back-end engineering, data science, data analysis, cybersecurity, product design, product marketing, and so many other programs.
That was a nice list. Classes are fully virtual, so you can learn anywhere. Tuition is affordable. There's an incredible community of learners ready to welcome and support you. And you can also earn a diploma at the end of the 12 months program.
So if this sounds interesting to you, you can get more information about available programs and how to apply at www.oldschoolafrica.com. That's pretty cool.
That's cute. It's so cute.
I love it. You know, I was saying that you already answered some of my questions and so let me actually just pull up my notes because I had a question about a cultural disconnect. So now I'll just dive into was there I think there must have been. Okay, so talk about a little
Plenty
bit of
cultural
that.
disconnect. So in Nigeria, funerals are very sad, no matter how old the person is. You're still expected to. In Ghana, it's a different thing. Again, in terms of like family and in Nigeria, there's always like the principle of you grow up, you send money and all that.
Yeah.
In Ghana, it's somewhat similar. In Kenya, it's similar but also still very different. Like there's a different principle to giving. Like they give because there's something to be done. Not every month I would like we do.
So they give to project like things.
Yes, so
specific
they
needs.
give to like, oh, okay, for your rent, I'm sending money back from my mom's rent. I'm sending money back from my mom's this. So that's what it's sent to. And then in terms of how they sponsor events, because these are things that you need to know how to build solutions for if you're doing like an international payment. In terms of how they sponsor events, if like it's easier to get a Ghanaian to send money home for a funeral than to get a Nigerian to send. Okay, Nigerians also Nigerians send money. Love us.
Generally, yeah.
It's easier, and then for a Rurosho, it's easier to tell somebody like, oh, this is what a Rurosho is a Kenyan wedding. Is this what they send money for? And then I go into Uganda, and it's a very different climb. It's very different from like what the media portrays. It's people just going about their very simple life, trying to, make it and support their family, build farmland. So the goal is very different. The goal is I want to build farmlands, I want to buy properties, I want to invest and build my country. So if you want to talk to them, that's how you like. So the disconnect is like you unlearning like how you see giving and responsibilities as a Nigerian in every instance to now understand people's reality.
Yeah.
So it was nice.
Yeah, I get that because I mean, in a sense, while Nigerians can be very family oriented, when you contrast with that, you see that. I mean, someone described it as like you become sort of a government unto yourself, in which case you really can't care too much about being a government for every single person and being invested in like, all the community activities that maybe somewhere else, somewhere in Uganda would do, or someone in Uganda would care about. Like, oh my god, I'm
Like,
building, I want to invest to grow the economy. It's like,
even the family,
it's so noble here, but there it feels like it's more commonplace.
even the family setup is different per country. So you'd see people. So I think Nigerians, we tend to say, okay, my mom, my dad, my mom, very nuclear or rarely polygamous. We're very hush-hush about polygamy. In some countries that I've lived in, they're not hush-hush about things like that. So yeah, you get to understand like it's like normal for them. So it's not hush-hush, it's not treated like a big deal, like how we would like go, oh, my dad has 2 wives, and you hush it like my dad has 2 wives. No, it's like, oh, that's my brother from my second mom.
Oh yeah,
even just the language already tells you like from my second mom. So it's not
Like,
it's not my dad's other wife.
Yes, exactly.
Fair
So
enough.
it was very fun, and I think there were instances where I would get shocked, and I would accept it as.
Yeah.
They were very shocked when I told them how we used to do nightclub in Lagos. So
They were very shocked. What was shocking to them?
Because again, like, so in Ghana it's normal, but in East Africa,
it's
it's
very
a lot.
different there.
Why are you doing face beats, buying clothes, calling photos,
and you must wear heels.
I showed them Lagos, one of those photographers that go and cover people, and I'm like, oh yeah, you call a photographer if you're a big
Photo
girl.
shoot. What do you mean?
They can't even.
They're like, this is a lot.
Yeah, no,
And I'm like, oh, that's our normal.
It's actually a lot.
It's a lot, but it's Lagos, it's Nigeria. Like it's
normal here.
Yeah.
See, there are certain instances I'll be like, if people come to Lagos, people are in for a very big surprise. Because they're able to like take out of their money and go out, have great time. Lagos, you cannot do it every weekend.
Yes,
Come on.
yes.
They're drinking beer in clubs and having the time. First time I was offered beer, I was so shocked.
Yeah.
I'm like, beer?
Yeah.
What's that?
But I drank. Apparently, people are actually very proud of the beer they've produced in their country. So please sometimes taste it and give your feedback.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. Thank you for saying that, because like when you're like
Yeah,
also makes
like
you a little bit
openness.
uppity. Like
openness to the cultures and the curiosity. Me, I can see you're a very people person.
Yeah.
Right? It's so obvious. But like in new cultures and new places, how are you able to get people to open up? Right? How do you make people comfortable so that they're able to share? Because again, you are very big on your network. So like how does that typically run in your head for you?
So the first thing I ask myself is, does this person see me as on the same level with them? Like, you have to meet them at the level they meet you. So you have to, again, I can be very shy when I meet people. So I would ask you questions timidly and then look and wait till you're warm with me, and then we go into it. First conversation I had with somebody in UG was Uganda was she's like, your name is very different. I'm like, yours too. And she's like, what are you doing here? They'll ask you, what are you doing here? I'm like, oh, came to learn. And she's like, oh, this is my name. And she tells me about her brother that sends money home and how like, and I tell her, and at that point, I'm not even saying I'm working in tech. I literally don't lead with that. I basically start with, if you want to send money, how do you go about? And that's like, you always have to have, so I would advise you have like an icebreaker question that ties to like what you're trying to like get from this new experience you're trying to immerse yourself with. So if I was PiggyVest and I was looking to expand to Ethiopia, chances are when I come out of immigration and all that, and I meet my cab driver, the first question after he tells me everything about like, oh, welcome to Ethiopia and all that, they would literally always tell like, this is where you visit here is, quick one. How do you save money safe?
Yeah.
Like, and sometimes, like, them, I say, oh, okay. And then I start, like, taking it piece by piece. I'm like, oh, do you travel? She's like, oh, yes, travels to the US. So, like, okay, how do you send money? And she's like, somebody sends it for her. I'm like, why? And then she starts explaining how, like, something is difficult. And I'm like, okay. And then I ask her, like, what can I enjoy? And she's like, oh, we do this, cinemas, blah, 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 blah. We're very big on Nigerian movies. And I'm like, you are? She's like, yes. And she
don't
starts
say
on
it.
YouTube.
Oh, wow.
And then she starts to ask, and I feel like sometimes because you're so normal, like you see things so normal, you don't understand certain things. So she's like, I come to expect everybody in Nigeria has weave-ons and good hair, because everybody in movies has weave-ons and good hair. And I'm like, oh, damn, I never thought about
It's
it.
giving the way Hollywood is.
Yeah.
She's like, everybody is with
I'll
weave-ons
never
and good
forget
hair.
the first day I saw like
The Hollywood
someone
side.
in America and she had an Android. Like the picture from her Snapchat, like I could tell because of the But I was like, wait, like I mean, of course people buy Androids.
Androids.
Of course. Like duh, but there's a single story. You know when they say the danger of a single story?
Yeah.
There's really a single story about like everybody who
Having
uses a
an
mobile
iPhone,
phone in
yeah.
America definitely uses, you know. But yeah.
Like, so I talked to her and she's telling me, go here. If you want to have coffee, go here. By the way, I started drinking coffee. Before I left Lagos, I didn't used to drink coffee. When I got to Kenya, I tasted coffee.
Oh my
I said,
god, they have good coffee. They have really good coffee.
I said, this is what I enjoy.
Yeah.
And I started drinking coffee. I drank coffee.
Welcome to our
I'm
club.
back to Lagos. I don't drink coffee anymore.
And why?
Well, if you can't get the proper
It didn't
one,
day.
No. How about like? Okay, don't worry.
I
it
cannot
just feels like a
I'll put you on
hassle.
later. Don't worry.
I cannot brew.
I'll put you. No, I'll put you on later. Don't worry.
We'll hear it and see. So, like, she's talking, she's telling me, oh, this. And she's talking, and I'm like, oh, what popular Nigerians do you know? And she goes off on a list. I know this person, I know that person. And I'm like, okay, great. This is how you find people. Same way in Tanzania, my cab driver, I do this thing too. I do, like, when I get comfortable in like a city, every billboard, I will ask you who is there. I will ask you, you will tell me. So say, who is this?
Yeah.
Like, oh,
because
popular actress.
if they think
Who is this? Popular singer.
So lean into the fact that you don't know.
You don't know.
And let them lead that.
Yes.
Yeah, that,
you don't know.
that makes
You
a
actually
lot
don't
of
know
sense.
these people. Like, it's their people. So who is this?
rather than doing, I mean, so you can do your Googles all you like, but allow the people tell
to, like,
you.
let the culture
Yeah.
meet you.
And
Yeah,
then-
that makes sense.
So most times I go in with, you do your research. I go in with like my top 10. Now, like Nigeria, and I always use Nigeria as a case study. You can have follower numbers. You can have zero influence. You'll be unable to sell my product.
Yes.
But the data, if I look at the data, if I look at your
Yeah,
demographic,
it's telling me that
if I look at
yeah.
what their interest is, I'm like, this person should be able to sell my
Yes.
product. I put my money in you. I put my marketing spend. I've gone to do data shift and tell my Ogada, if we give Joanna so amount of
Money,
dollars
yeah.
or naira, she will give me so amount of conversion rate. And so you get to understand that certain people, they have influence. They might not have like that much
money. Yeah.
numbers, or certain people have like that much. So you ask,
Yeah.
what influences you to buy tissue paper? Who do they feel is so important? They'll put on a tissue paper billboard. Who they feel is so important? They'll put on like, and I ask.
There's a lot of questions.
Another thing I do is I go to places that they already enjoy what I'm looking to provide. So best believe I have pictures of random bureau de change guys across Africa. I'll go to their snap picture. I'll compare with my own product and say, I'm offering more. Use me.
Yeah.
So I already can tell, like, okay, this is what they get currently from what they are using. This is what. So again, I'm never going to use like lamp. I'm going to use like, if I wanted to take a piggy vest out of Nigeria, I'll literally ask like the safe border driver, because how do you save money? This money that you're making every day from here, how do you ensure that there's something home?
Yeah.
Like, or at the end of the year to tie to?
So you meet them where they are.
Who do you follow on TikTok? Who should I follow on TikTok? Like people love that. Who should I follow on TikTok? Who should I follow on Facebook? Apparently, Facebook was banned in Uganda when I was there. So, but they were still using it. So they're using VPN, and they'll tell
The
you.
way we use Twitter, I mean,
Do
what do
you
you
get-
mean you're banning in this
I was
big
even the one-
2024?
I was even the one announcing to them
Wrap
that
it up.
our Twitter was back. So most of them didn't know that our Twitter was back. So I'm like, oh yeah, we're back on Twitter. And they're like, oh, we use Facebook, we use, so you get to start understanding this where you find them. Then you also join communities online. You join look for groups of people. There are always people that are not from there too, trying to figure it out. Look for them, join their group. If there's a group chat, add me to it, so that even if they are going somewhere, do you want to go? I entered forest. God, that day forest, my dear. That was the most un-Nigerian thing I had done in a while.
You did a white, it's like the white version of doing a white thing, going when they are
somebody told me,
scaring you.
wake up by, somebody's like, we're going to so forest by 6. Don't spray perfume. Wear comfortable shoes and clothes. Me,
Forest.
zero fitness. I should say, I'll sit at home, I'll meet people. I said, no,
Adventure girl.
let's go, let's have it.
Oh yeah, now.
We walk,
Of course.
we walk.
Of course.
Where I was chat holding it, I was like, don't be the party people, don't be the party people. They're like, oh, so I think we can do 20 km. I said, how many have we done? Now they said 10. I sat down and I said, this is too much for me.
This is,
So
I
like,
can't bear it again.
but then you're seeing people from that climb working. You're seeing what music they listen to, or you're hearing like what music they listen to. Nigerian music, oh God. Again, being Nigerian is so cool. Like, I'm not going to lie, being Nigerian is so cool, because like, I remember the first time I was at a bar with my colleague, and they started playing Nigerian jams and how everybody went crazy. And then, you know, when you're Nigerian, you also have to show
That's
yourself.
us now.
So we're dancing, we were singing louder than we would normally sing in Lagos. We were shouting Joa on the top of our lungs. And my colleague felt like, this DJ, I need to motivate him to continue. So my colleague brought out money. I was
Money.
giving DJ.
That's what Nigerians always do. That's what a Nigerian, like, that's actually how Afrobeat took off.
you
By
get-
Nigerians going everywhere. When you play Nigerian music, they will flex on you like, see, I will reward you for playing that music. Keep playing it.
So, like, you go to Ghana and Nigerian music is
God,
there.
we're such a prideful people, Sha.
No, Nigerian music is there.
Bruh.
Nigerian entertainment is there. They're talking about things that are happening, and you're like, okay, we're actually a lot of people. You go to Kenya, first night out, they are playing a lot of Amapiano, which you can relate to because your people have found their way there.
Yes. They're always there. What about
your people
Nigeria?
have found their
They'll be
way
there.
there. They're playing Afrobeat. You're like, damn. And they begin to notice because you're singing the words.
Yeah.
You're not just vibing,
You're not
like,
just
yes.
doing,
So at that point, you are Igbo, you are Yoruba, you are everything. You're
That one
speaking
no
all the
concern
words
that.
because you know the words. And then you get to Uganda and you're
Yeah, there's a way you always say Uganda. Like,
no, because it was like a very different. It was a very different. So you're hearing Nigerian music. They are vibing with Nigerian music. Burna Boy is there. Ashake is there. They are vibing.
Shout out to Ashake.
But there is also their own.
Oh, so they own
they're
their
also
own there.
very prideful, like
So
of their
there's
own.
also their own.
I love that.
And you have to know, okay, who am I? And apparently when I was there, their local, their Ugandan artists were beefing. I followed it too. I followed the beef.
This
I read
reminds
up
me of
on,
that guy that
I read up on like what started the beef. So the beef was so lit.
So that's so lit.
I'm trying to remember is it Radiohead or Snakehead? One guy and the other guy, they were going at it. Palazzo and something head, Sha. So they were going at it as to like who had more clout. And it was a conversation. And everybody on their Twitter, again, shout out to Twitter, shout out to places that let you follow conversation. Everybody were memeing it, talking about it. And these two artists decided to do a real, I'll show you I'm bigger than you, not online. They did offline concerts. The person with the largest crowd wins.
So now
I think is it Radiohead or
the one with head shine, his name.
Ibi Palazzo. So then elders in the community were trying to like resolve the beef and all that. And I'm like, this is how these people vibe with their own entertainment.
Yes.
This is, the concerts were not expensive. Like even the kind of concerts that they were promoting, they weren't like, I think Arasta came once. One other person came. And I could sense the buzz around Arasta, like, oh my God, Arasta's coming. Nice. But then Backstreet Boys was coming and it was the biggest thing in UG. Like, shut down everywhere. Like, what I'm wearing to Backstreet Boys. And I'm like, I only know like 2 Backstreet Boys. I'm Gen Z. I don't know.
Yeah.
I want it,
Okay, you
darling.
are my fire.
Yeah.
I know that one. But these guys MTN was sending Blitz SMS like Backstreet today, everybody Backstreet discount, Backstreet. And I'm like, these people are different.
Yeah.
Like, they're black people like me. They're taller than me, always taller than me. But they're very different. Things that push them very different.
Interesting.
Like,
the motivations are different. So therefore the market demands are different
market
as well.
demands, how you, again, another thing is personal relationship. I have friends everywhere. I'm very grateful I get to say that. I have friends in Kenya that I know they demand different from like my friend in Lagos. Like, emotionally, the way I meet up with them is different. The way, also having things people don't tell you about having friends everywhere is you begin to get very resourceful. Like, if I need to send a bouquet of flowers right now to my friend in Nairobi, I will get it done. Because that's how I can sustain that friendship. That's how I can ensure that friendship.
Yes,
If I need
alive.
to stay online to walk my friend through cooking jollof rice in Uganda, I would do it. I bought cookbooks for her. She's like, I want to cook this, I want to cook that, help me. And I basically sent her like 4 cookbooks and I'm like, send me pictures when you do them. So you need to know that like how they even view money in friendship. Like, Nigerian work givers. So most times you take your friend out and you
Do things for
you
them.
do things for you, cover their Uber and all that. There's certain instances where you have to meet them 50-50.
Yeah.
So the first time, the person I met in UG, she told me afterwards, like, I found it very weird that you paid for all our cabs and you didn't patronize. I'm like, oh, but it was on my Uber. Did you expect me to like split? She's like, yeah, that's obtainable. Don't do that except the person doesn't really have money. I'm like, oh, okay.
Interesting.
Do you get? So like, giving is different, expectations different. How they care for you and how they show care
It's
very different.
Interesting.
So you have to understand that like they are coming from like a different
Culture, yeah.
a
And
different
that is
cultural
what love
context.
means or care means in that context as well.
Yes.
That's so great. I think we are more than halfway through this conversation, but I want to take a small break because we talked about a lot of countries. See why I said she was a great fit for this stuff? Because I was telling Dolapo, I said, Dolapo, you don't
said
do
expat.
expatriates. She said, I'm not. I said,
I'm not
Whether
expert.
she accepts or not, as you can see from the conversation.
As you can see.
So that's your business.
As you can see.
That's for
I'm
you.
not expert.
So we're going to
If
play a
you
little
insist.
guess the country.
Okay.
Yeah, just quickly. First
beg.
country, this country one. I think once I say the first hint, you will know it.
Okay.
No, let me actually go to country 2 first. I don't want it to be too easy from the beginning. This country is famous for maple syrup and poutine.
Is that not Canada?
Yes. This is too easy.
Sis, like do a little mystery now.
Oh, sorry.
Let me think about it. Does it start with C?
Let me look for another one. This country is famous for its wine and cheese.
Wine and cheese.
Yes.
Cheese. Italy.
I knew you were going to say Italy. No,
I
you're
knew
wrong.
I knew Italy.
Okay, let me give you another. No, the second hint is too easy. So let me.
Stop my passport. All these embassies. If you somebody stop my passport, please. I'm always scared. I've never been rejected. I don't want to jinx it, please. They've never rejected me for visa before, and I used to read people's tweets. I used to say,
That's
a
not
whole-
me.
A whole speck of the world.
I'm screaming.
Rejection. I know if they reject you for
You
visa.
won't carry a garment, Abby. Carry a muffin.
If they reject you for visa, the next application you put to another country, they'll ask you, have you ever been rejected? You'll not be saying yes.
Oh,
You see, you'll have to say yes.
That's
Okay,
a
okay,
campaign,
okay. It was France actually. Okay, so this country has the largest population in the world.
China.
Yeah, you got it. Okay, next one. This country has the Great Barrier Reef.
I know this thing, no.
Okay.
it's giving
If you,
Civics,
the first hint
barrier-
is too easy. I can give you a second hint.
That one.
Give me a second hint.
Okay,
Barrier
the
Reef.
capital city is Canberra.
That's Australia now.
You are really.
I said don't give her. You gave her. Okay, so now she has won it. So
plenty people
Okay,
tend to think that, like,
final one. This country has the longest river in the world.
Egypt, right?
Yes.
you're too good at this thing. It's taking the fun out of it. You need to
Evidence.
scramble a bit, babe.
Stamp man.
Evidence.
Oh, okay,
Okay, you
fair,
know
fair,
what?
fair.
We're about to wrap up. Like 2 more questions, and then we'll play our last game. But this one, let's talk about. Or do you want to go before me? Because I just. No. Okay.
feel free.
So
It's the
let's talk
conversation.
about if I think you have touched on it already. But are there any tools, platforms that you use? You mentioned Eventbrite, talking to people physically, helping
Sending
to
gifts to
TikTok.
stay in
so what
church,
other
yeah.
tools do you use to really like get the best out of building a network when you are in these like global facing roles, like multicultural facing roles?
If you're expecting LinkedIn, I'm sorry. LinkedIn scares me. It's too formal. I feel like most times if I reach out to you via LinkedIn, you're already expecting that our relationship and conversation will take a certain tone.
Yes.
So I did 3 things. I set my Twitter to public. So today I am still immersed. Like my timeline is a mix of wherever I've stayed. So my Twitter is public. My timeline is, so you can search me up and like follow like where my head is at. I can network easier with you. So I can send somebody. Send me. Literally, I've sent an Ugandan comedian from Lagos, Audacity, everywhere. I'm like, hi, I want to do content with you. How far? And he's like, oh, I can't right now. I'm signed on to this. So he can already like see my Twitter. My Twitter is public. He knows that, okay, this is an actual person. She's reaching out for this brand. I don't put my workplace in my bio though, because I'm a funny person on social media.
Yeah.
So
Not a mysterious babe, but just a
I've tried to rebrand
crackhead.
like
My dear sister,
4
don't worry.
times.
Me self, I've tried. It's
It
not
has
for
failed
us.
like
It's
4,
okay.
5 times.
You don't need to.
My
don't worry.
Instagram public, I immerse myself in TikTok because I feel like that's the easiest way
Yeah.
to find information. It's very condensed,
SEO
like
friendly,
do you
like
get
mad.
so? If literally first meal I had in UG, I searched pizza. I was like, pizza in Kampala, and I saw people making videos, and I was like, okay, go on Glovo, find who is on Glovo, order your food. Events, if it's a recurring event, like I love trade fairs, so I went for a trade fair. I looked at the videos from the last one. I said, okay, you need comfortable shoes. Don't bother wearing your
how
long
to
wig,
dress
wear your
for
short
stuff.
wig.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, this is the vibe. This is what to. So it gives you like an idea of like what networking looks like on that end. So I'm very big on that. I'm very big on meeting people personally. I'm very big on taking walks. Taking walks, like familiarize yourself with the place. Know what is who, what is where to make. And if you're a girl, people don't tell you this, but you're going to have to find. I can make my hair everywhere now, apparently. So beauty appointments is something I think of. So when I get to that level where I'm very comfortable with like my beauty network, and they yank me to another country, it's like going, again. So it's the same way if I get to Ghana, I know if I want to make my hair, this is where I go to. If I want to make my nails, this is where I go to. If I want to do some beauty touch-ups, like threading my brows and all that, this is where I go to. You have to build that network, because if not, you're just going to find yourself doing I'm not a DIY queen, sadly. I went to Kenya, built the same network of beauty.
And it also does it also feed into like when you're researching, it just helps the conversation of knowing.
So it helps because you're able to price things.
Okay. So in saving
So
money.
they don't use a foreigner eye for you.
It's not just like foreigner eye. You're able to like price like on the. So another thing we don't think of is the value of your money is different from the value of your money.
Fair enough.
So to me now, 1,000 naira is nothing. Like I can spend 1,000 naira right now and we'll be fine. I can't spend 1,000 cedis and I'll be fine without getting value for my money. I want your trouser.
Yeah.
It's the same way in Uganda. I don't even think 1,000 Ugandan shillings can buy me water. Yeah. In Uganda, I was a millionaire. And that's actually a running joke. Like, if you want to be a millionaire,
Just go to Uganda. I'm screaming.
Like, if you have naira. Or if you have dollars.
If you have naira, if you have dollars, if you carry like a sizable amount of money, by the time you convert it, you're a millionaire.
Quick.
It might not last for long.
But
How about this? So you've talked about, like, you know, when you're on ground, like in these places. I know. So you talked about, I had a friend, or I had a couple friends in Kenya. Did you reach out to anybody for the purpose of, I want to break the soil before I get there? I've connected to someone, you know,
Yes.
like, okay, so,
Yes.
like, and not for work, to kind of build an informal network, preparing you to get there.
So when I knew I was moving to UG alone, I was like, okay, how are we going to do this? I didn't even. So first thing, I will first check the weather. After Kenya, trust nobody. So I checked the weather. I'm like, okay, this is warmer than I'm used to. And then I told all my friends in Kenya, I'm like, you're already in East Africa. Chances are one person
knows another person.
One person. So they ask, everyone's asking, do you know anybody? Do you know this person moved? This person moved. This person moved. I'm like, okay, you will find me one person. So they found me someone, and they're like, he's there, but he's very busy. So you can ask. So I basically DM'd him on Insta, and I'm like, hi, my name is Dolapo. I'm going to be around next month. What do I need to know? And he's like, okay, do this. And he's like, I'm like, I need to get a house. Airbnb is very deceitful. So I'm like, what area? Because you can have you can see a very beautiful house in Airbnb and it's be in the middle of nowhere. So I'm like, what area? So this person literally streamlines the areas for me. Then I reached out to another person. I think I reached out to another person again to ask what to pack. I always do that, actually. Funny, not that I'm actually trying to, except Kenya. I don't know why. Kenya, I just felt like...
Kenya is familiar to us as Nigerians, so we tend to assume that we're prepared for Kenya.
I was not.
Because it's quite, metropolitan, and if you're from Lagos, you just think, it's not just to go and vibe in Kenya.
See, Kenya, oh God, I was so unprepared. Because even my moisturizer wasn't moisturizing. Like, it wasn't Amatan.
Yeah.
It was just very cold.
Yeah.
And then, they now start saying it will get colder. I'm like, what do you mean get colder? Apparently. So, it's that sweet spot. Like, it is 14. It's not -6 or 6 like UK. It's like 14. So, like, on a warm day, it's giving you 23. So, you're getting Airbnbs because I don't like staying in hotels. So, that's also another thing. So, I'm moving, like, I stay hotel maybe 1 week. And then I'm moving to my Airbnb. And you're telling me there's no AC.
No AC. Okay,
no AC.
Fair enough, sure. Because it's
already cold.
Yes.
So you have to... I'm like, this is weird.
Yeah.
There's a lot. So there's no AC. You have to make do with maybe fans, if there are fans. But it doesn't get hot. Like, so Kenya really, like, recalibrated me. Funny enough, in Ghana, I also asked. Like, I reached out to someone. I was like, hi, I'm coming to Ghana. I know you stay there. I know we've never spoken before. But what's up? What should I pack? And person's like,
okay, I
just
like
pack,
that.
like, pack whatever you want to pack, but pack sunscreen. And that
is the sun different?
Hey,
Burning,
the sun. So, like now, I don't have sunscreen on my hand. In Ghana, I have for my face, and I spray on sunscreen. Like I spray on sunscreen on my body, you will feel it. So the sun is hotter. It will make you darker. So you have to pack sunscreen. Enough. So I wouldn't have known that. I would have packed like normal sunscreen. She's like, no, buy one for your body, buy one for your face. So sunscreen. Okay, stay wearing at some point. It's getting colder. People stay wearing trench coats. I said no before UK. Wear trench coats. Trench coats.
Yeah.
Like people were wearing trench coats, and me, the Nigerian in me,
that's true.
could not reconcile the fact that you
can buy a trench coat in Africa.
I use my office sweater, and I use like 2 office sweaters if it gets really cold, and then I try to keep warm with like blankets, and I stay indoors. but trench coats, never.
It's the stubbornness for me, but you could have just gotten a trench coat.
Why though? What will I use it for if I leave Kenya? Like a trench, it's serious.
Fair enough. I
Trench
feel you.
coats,
It's
so
quite
I'm wearing
serious.
boots and gloves, and it was getting colder though. In their defense, but trench coats.
Fashions now.
Do you know something?
When I was in Covenant University, I used to wish that we had cold weather because like the
Yeah,
fashions,
the fashions
would have
now.
been insane.
Layering.
Bruh.
Stop. Don't play.
Don't play.
Don't play.
Me, I didn't wear trench coats with them.
Okay.
Oh, we want to do the around the world segments, right? So you've been up and down now.
No, not a lot.
My dear sister.
No, but this one is quick.
Whether you accept or not, that's on you.
Okay.
Favorite cuisine from another country? you love?
Ghanaian.
She loves Ghanaian food. Is it light soup that you said?
Lights. See, the problem is I eat everything except kontomire. I don't know why.
Okay, fair
But
enough.
I eat everything they've placed in my front in Ghana.
You are lighting up, man.
I don't eat tuwo in Nigeria. Who got to Ghana and started eating omotuwo?
You. I can see it in your eyes. You are literally lighting up.
Eggs, or you see those egg jokes you people crack.
Yeah.
Me, I don't find them funny. I'm like, why are you dissing me and my people? One day.
So you can eat like a crate of egg in a day.
No.
But half a crate.
One day, I was bored and I bought like 3 and I sliced it, put onion and pepper inside.
Oh God, you're such a Ghanaian. I dash you to them.
Literally, so I love Ghanaian food a lot. I love the fact that like sometimes, so there's kenke and they don't cook like the sauce with kenke is raw pepper, and I'm eating it and I'm like, this is.
You're dancing, for God's sake.
See, I'm going to go and eat Ghanaian food afterwards. I'll look for where they sell Ghanaian food in Lagos. And go.
I trust you, Sha.
Bro, watch it. God. See, Ghanaians are like, that's a lot. I'm like, not to me, darling. Because what do you mean? I can have rice, beans, gari, spaghetti, salad, fried fish, egg, meats.
In
and
one
shito
plate.
In one plate.
That's a lot, man. But not
It's
to
nice.
use. Okay, fair enough.
I
Favorite
gained weight.
country? Yeah, you.
Gained weight though.
Of course, can't you hear how you're talking about the food? That's not surprising.
Favorite country you visited?
Nairobi.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Nairobi. I love how they build houses there. It's purposeful, like high rises, underground parking, and you don't have to be super rich. It's
To have a
it's
good-
more expensive than Lagos. They pay rent monthly.
Yeah.
The rent is actually high, but it's well built.
Yeah.
And at
There's
some
value for money.
point, in all the countries I lived at, I now realize that dealing with power blackouts is the ghetto.
Yeah.
Please.
It
But you
is.
know,
It is.
We move.
I mean, some people don't deal with that. So even in
Yes,
Nigeria,
and I'm
but
wondering
it's
what
all
they
right.
have
Very
that we
unserious
don't have.
person.
You know, like
Yeah.
even in Nigeria, you know, some
She's
some
so
people
unserious.
Don't
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 deal.
No, it's not even inverter. It's
You
just
get-
so. For example, if you live in, let's say, Canaan land now,
So yeah, some of us just live somewhere that we don't
Madam.
deal with that. But yeah,
But yeah,
Will you
I
leave
love
my
Nairobi.
video?
If I make like a gazillion bucks, I would pack up my life and move there.
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
love that.
Like that.
A language you wish you could speak fluently.
Tree,
Tree and Swahili.
Tree.
I like Swahili. Swahili is very musical.
Okay, what's your favorite phrase in tree?
Hey. See, so apparently I picked up like a bunch of language.
Yeah,
I
the slangs.
like some even Ghanaian pidgin. Like sometimes I tell my colleague over me, like that means I'm fed up. He over me.
Yeah.
If I want to say somebody's head
It's not correct.
is not correct, it touch.
Hey.
So I'm like, it touch. That person head touch. But for Ghanaian language, my favorite phrase. I think it's probably the first one I learned, and it was because of our campaign I learned
What?
it. So apparently, Ghanaians call people that are abroad that send money back burger.
Oh, bugger, yeah.
So BORGA, burger. So when I say burger,
Means
they don't
every-
think beggar. They think burger.
Oh.
I like burger. I like sendisika. That means give me money.
Of course, you like that. See,
So I like Senisika, I like Mivoga, I like Mia Ponche because they used to call me that a lot. So Mia Ponche means you're a goat.
You're a goat.
Yes.
And you like
Why
that?
No, my Ghanaian colleagues just used to tell me like Mia Ponche, like why are you doing this? So I like that. In Swahili,
It's like Yoruba Olodo.
do you
Like, you
get,
just like, shut
why
up.
are you doing this? In Swahili, I think I like how musical it is. Pesa, tumana pesa. So everything about like sending money is lipa na pesa. What else do I like? I love the greetings. I love how like you can say, oh, I felt poorly. And I'm like, oh my God.
God, she really loves it.
Do you understand? Like, she's not just going there
the
for work. You
horror.
can tell that she enjoys
And
this
the
culture
is like telling you
thing.
poly. And I'm like, what's poly? And you're like, sorry. And I'm like, poly. And they're like, karibu. They're like, asante sana. I'm like, the first time I'm able to say like, thank you in like all these languages, like, I enjoyed. I'm like, okay, I'm getting somewhere. So those are my two favorites.
Nice. Country you'd love to visit next for work or leisure?
Senegal. I want to.
Yeah, she mentioned.
I want to experience wave. I want to see why, like, and how, like, do you know that, like, from what I've heard, the average, like, beggar in Senegal has a wave barcode for you to scan.
To give them arms.
Yes.
That's interesting.
That's proper grassroots.
Yeah.
The masses work.
Do you get, and when you read the story of how it came to be, you're just like, this thing was there for the taking. Some people tried to take it, but then these ones came and then they took it in a way that everybody's like, let's just use it. Like, it's not, so you have an internet-enabled phone, you're using Wave. You don't.
You're using Wave.
You don't even have a phone. You're using Wave. So I'm
That's
like,
interesting.
so apparently, what I've heard is they give you apps, they scan your barcode, and you can use that to get money. So you can use what they've loaded up to your barcode to scan for money if you need that because you don't have a device. And I'm like, this is so well thought out. The fees are lesser than anything obtainable in the market right now. That's why people switch to Wave. So the two players, they're always two big players in terms of, I think, aside Nigeria, other remittance markets, other markets in terms of money, they're like digital payments. They're always 2 or 3 big players. And I think those big players didn't utilize on cutting down costs for people. So it was expensive to move money. So Wave was offering them, I think, like 2% or 5%. And these people were paying like 10 and 20%. So everybody just made a switch. And
They
that's
said,
like,
not me.
so I really want to go to Senegal. I'm coming. Let me get my money up. You see me. So I want to go to Senegal.
Okay, 3 more. But just quickly, right? A book or movie from another culture that has inspired you.
Book, movie, book.
You can choose either if you're a book person or a movie person.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Not to concern you.
Book. So I buy books a lot. But most of them are African authored. So I don't even like, most of them are Nigerian authored too. Book.
I'll be coming to your library. Thank you for mentioning that.
Oh no, I buy books a lot.
Book obsessed fellow.
No, that's all right.
I can tell you what countries to buy books in and what countries not to.
I will come to meet you. Don't worry.
I'll find
Let's
a
finish
bookshop in
podcast.
any country you put me in. Books, movies. From
That
another country.
inspired you.
Yeah, from another
It's not inspired as a country. I don't watch to like get. I watch to like
Yeah, I feel you.
laugh.
Okay, which one do you remember? Just from another culture.
If I say it, people are going to block me. Beyonce and Rihanna.
Oh yeah, I like that one. I liked it.
Beyonce and Rihanna was
It
revolutionary.
was good. It was good.
It was actually.
It was quite ridiculous, but good.
If
you
you people
get-
insist.
like.
What do you mean if you
Nigeria
insist? Did you watch it?
Beyonce was.
Did you watch it?
I did.
Oh, I didn't like it.
You didn't like
It
it.
was just
Funny enough.
I don't know with the
Funny
times.
enough.
sorry.
Funny enough. When day I got to Ghana, my colleague was at the laptop consuming anikulapo, and I was lost.
Oh, you know, like
No.
Okay.
She don't understand nothing. So we thought it was
there no subtitle?
There was,
Okay,
there was, but like still, she was like very into it.
Yes,
into
now,
it. And I'm
Because
like,
the subtitles now.
See
When
now.
you told Hollywood where you were growing
I
up,
just
you know
was
what
I watch
they were
K-drama.
doing.
Call.
I don't watch K-drama.
You need to get with the program.
I don't watch K-drama, but she was like very into it. And I was like, how many Yoruba movies? And she's listing Yoruba actors. And I'm like,
Yes.
girl.
No, but people really have them on the hold, like outside of Nigeria. Forget all the dragging of Nollywood. Oh,
Next one.
okay.
Beyonce Ariana.
Last Okay, no, one more before this. The most challenging part of working in a different country.
Figuring out everything. Your
Learning.
internet,
Yeah.
what bundles to buy, even getting a SIM card. Getting a SIM card.
And being temporarily stranded before you get one.
I always buy my SIM card at the airport.
Fair enough.
Except Ghana.
Well, you always have one exception.
An exception. That's what I thought.
For Ghana, you can get a temporary SIM if you're looking to travel, but you have to do it in a Vodafone office. So the SIM works for like your duration.
Right, yeah, there. Oh,
yes.
Okay.
But also the same with like all these other countries, but they've not set up the structure in the airport, so you have to go to the Vodafone office, get that done. But I learned fast, like I just changed my case. If I'd come here with my former case, you see all the SIM cards at the back of my. I don't know why. I don't know if I'll go from here to the airport too. I just put it in.
When they called you, you already said that they called you one day and they just said, you're moving to Uganda. So it tracks.
So let me give you an example. I traveled with like all my colleagues to Ghana, like the whole company, like for retreats. I had internet immediately we landed. Like I removed my earring, took the SIM, and everyone's like, hotspot. I'm like, I did for you all.
And the star girl,
I figured that out. I know where to go, when to go, like figuring, but it took time. It took like a week, 2 weeks.
Sense.
What to eat, what not to eat. You also have to figure that out. Like, okay, do I like this food? Do I not like this food? What am I going to do? So it's a lot of firsts. First time I climbed safe border. Hey, God, it was a lot. So, but then I bought my helmet. I was like, okay, how can I make this work for myself? So you're figuring out how to get groceries to yourself, figuring out where to even go for good food. So you have to like, it's very overwhelming.
A lot of things out,
and you have to like stick to your TikTok, stick to your Google, stick to read reviews, like ask people too. Also, another thing is. I'm not sure. Another thing is look for where you find a lot of people from that country buying food. Do you get?
Okay.
From the country,
rather than
not
going
Nigerians.
to where the tourists.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough.
And then, if all else fails, buy food from KFC. It's the same everywhere. Look for a franchise store. Buy food from KFC.
Yeah, that makes
it's
sense.
literally the same.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
So,
last question. A global business leader that you admire.
Global business.
Like someone you admire.
I admire my former employer a lot. He's like I don't know, because
what's his name?
Ridwan Olaliri. Hi, Ridwan. So I admire Ridwan a lot. I feel like Ridwan is one of the most intelligent people I've ever come across. Especially how he tackles problems. I admire how like he's also able to deal with the people and like the customers is creating for, and people like us because having me as a staff is not easy. No, it's not easy. It's not easy because I sometimes one thing I'll tell young people, sometimes you have to remind people that you're young. Like if not, you're just going to find out that one day you're turning 40, 50 and you spent all your youth working. Inside, so you have to constantly push them. Like one time they were looking for me to send push notification. I was on a table in Alchemist dancing. I was dancing. I picked up the video because I said, I can't send it from my phone.
I'm dancing. Get up here.
So yes, let's dance. Like I was like, you have to remind people that you do move young sometimes. So I admire Ridwan. Who else do I admire? Global tech leader I admire. Global tag. I don't know his name. But I admire the founder of Money Points. Like, I admire what they are building. I admire the tenacity in which they are able to come to the grassroots and like sell their solution. Yeah. It's admirable. When you work in fintech, you know how hard that is to do, to build such a network in such a short time. Very admirable. Who else? Global leader. This leader.
I think you've given two. You've tried it. So you are okay now.
Do you want them to give you? You want to give us?
No, I'm thinking of a woman because one of the girlies got to come true. Woman in
Speak
tech.
about the girlies.
Founder, global leader.
Well, it doesn't have to be a founder. Just a
doesn't have to
leader.
be. Oh, I admire
Doesn't
her
have
doing
to
a
be a
lot.
founder.
Yeah, it doesn't have
oh.
to- But Odu is actually a founder when you look at it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Odu.
so I admire Odu. And I'm sorry that I'm picking all Nigerian like leaders and all
Yeah,
that.
but you know.
But these are like people that basically expose me to like what tech can be. I admire Odun a whole lot. I admire like how she's able to actually deal with the people. Like, and I don't mean customers because she be dealing with people internally.
Yeah.
So how she's able to deal with people, how she's able to like let us see the value of things. When you see leaders like that, you aspire to be like them. So sometimes I think my barest minimum as I've become manager now is this point. I just see it is well.
God will see us through. We shall not remain the same.
Hey,
It's like you can't believe that, you are there.
So sometimes they do some things and then everybody's like, oh, this was you, girl. This is you. Like, you did this too. And I'm like, I did. I'm so sorry.
Say, I'm so sorry.
Like, I managed, like, my last job, my direct reportee, I don't know why, but I basically hired my I don't even know what to call her, like, raised to power to me. So sometimes she tries something and I'm just like, and someone's like, oh, girl.
Like you have my do.
Girl. I'm like,
But then you can understand because it's like you are.
sometimes I don't see it.
It's
So
other
it's like
people
my
that
former
flag it.
manager. So one time I went to him and I'm like, I can't deal. Let her report to you. I'm not doing again. And he's like, oh, you can't deal.
When I was dealing with you.
It's a mirror on your face, bro.
He's like, you can't deal. I said, yes. Like, you're having problems with this. Yes. He said, oh, okay. Search up this. Go back
In
to
our
2022.
message.
Look at what you used to do. See how you used to doc. So did I die? He's like, did I die? So I always like when you work with people like Odun, you work with people like the people that managed me. I try to be like a version of them or like the best version of them I can be. I think like in 1 year of managing like my babe, I think I only went at it once with her because sometimes I just I drop my phone.
Yes.
Like I'm like, oh my God, I've grown so much.
Yeah.
I read it.
Because you are very much a fire for fire person.
Do you get?
Yes.
So now I don't be firing anymore. I've actually learned to save my fire for like external.
Yes.
So if I'm paying you externally to get something done for me,
Yes.
if you're an agency, if I'm bringing you on board,
Yes, you get it.
you can't be lax because I'm paying you plenty money. I came to you for the service, so I will let you know that. And sometimes apparently I can be blunt too.
You just realize,
apparently-
wow.
So when people say things to you, you don't.
Yeah, fair. You are not
You're
hearing
like, oh no, I'm
yourself
advocating for
sometimes.
myself. But like, I'm like, okay, if I say this thing to this girl, she'll come tomorrow. We'll have to sit down, trade call. How is she going to look at me?
Yeah.
So I just take it. There's one particular Friday, the girl upset me so much. I sent a very long, like it was
To
like,
her?
Yes, I sent a very long. I sent like question mark. I said, why would you do this? And then I was like, literally, my former manager was like, I think you should drop your phone and go out. So I went out to party, and then Saturday morning, she had gone to tell everybody, please get Dolapo for me.
Yeah.
I was like, rubbish. Rubbish. I was just like, God, was I like this?
Say rubbish.
No, see.
Now you can see it from growth lens. Yeah, really.
One day I
Bruh.
found myself texting her, please. I was like, please wear shoes.
Dolapo is such a Crocs person, but anyway. Anyway.
I was like, please wear shoes when you're coming.
You know, the chickens always come home to roost. The chickens always come home to roost.
God said, gotcha.
Gotcha, for real. They really
sent
brought
me
your
too.
person.
Of course.
She says like,
You know, and the funny thing about it, did you hire her?
yeah.
Yes, that's what I was
That's the
thinking.
thing.
Like, you hired your person.
You
What
picked
were
your
you
person.
thinking?
That's the thing. You picked
I
your
don't
person.
She sends the most mind-boggling memes.
Wow, shocker.
Coming from you who has a meme collection. Speaking of which, I need access to it.
Yeah,
Girl.
but I would get that too.
It's been a long,
been
but really
real.
thorough.
I think at some-
thoroughly. I was about to say thoroughful.
at some point, I think we forgot that like it's a
Was a
podcast
podcast.
and it's not a conversation. Like people are going to listen.
No, if
So
I'm going
it's
to
like,
cut down this thing.
Enjoyable
you come and cut
conversation.
it for us now.
What are they here for? What are you here for? This is why we are here now.
That's
Put it
why
down
we're
now. You are not going to edit this thing.
No, we'll edit now, but we'll see.
Whatever you see,
you take.
never.
At this point.
But thank you guys so much.
Thank you
to our
for
listeners. We hope you enjoyed it.
Joining. Dolapo, did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it actually.
You did?
Yes, they didn't ask me other questions.
I told you that we will not set you up.
Oh.
But it was great. It was great.
We just wanted to help you. That's why we did not ask you. I'm just joking. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining. It was fun. As usual, we are sponsored by Old School Africa, right? And their goal is to stop. Why that eye?
I'll get back to this later.
And their goal is to help more African people, African talent scale their careers, right? So by taking courses and upskilling, even if you already have a course, a skill, right? You can always build another skill. That's one of the things we keep mentioning here.
It always compounds.
Feel free to check out All School Africa and get a skill today.
Yep. With that being said, it's time for me to sign out as the best person on this couch today. It was great talking to you guys. As always, my name is Joanna, and I'll see you guys on the next episode.
Yeah. She has done that in our own thing. Bye, guys. See you guys on the next episode. Dolapo, say bye-bye.
Oh, hi guys. Bye guys. Bye.